there! Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial we're going to be using some beautiful products from the From My Heart product suite, and we're going to make this awesome diagonal lidded treat box. Now this box measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 by 1 3/8. And on the inside, I have 4 Ferrero Rochers. Now there's a lot of other things that would fit in here. Most comparable to the Ferreros would be the Lindor Truffles, but again, it's a good sized box. Now I have 2 different ways to close it. I actually prefer this way. On my Facebook Live last week, I showed this version where I closed it with tying a ribbon around it, but I've actually on this one added a magnet that you can't see, but it's behind the sentiment and underneath the lid here, and that actually holds it together really well. So I kind of love this way better. So this is the way I'm going to show you in this video tutorial, and it's really easy to make. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got 2 pieces of the From My Heart Specialty Designer Series paper. These measure 6 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have 1 piece of real red cardstock that measures 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Starting with the designer series paper, along the short side, we're going to score this at 1 3/8. And then I'm going to rotate it to the long side, and we're going to score this at 2 3/4 from either side. So I'm rotating it 180 degrees and 2 3/4. That just saves us from having to remember 2 measurements. Now the other piece, I'm going to flip the direction of the paper in the opposite direction. So on this one, we have the top of the pattern on this side. On this one, we'll do the top on the left side. It really doesn't matter which direction you cut your paper, landscape or portrait, if you have a directional pattern. You just want to make sure that you do opposite when you score the score line on the short side, so that when we put this together, we can have our pattern going the same way on the diagonal. So again, we're going to score this at 1 3/8, and then rotating to the long side, 2 3/4 from each side. Now with the cardstock, we actually are going to have to do a 1/16 of an inch measurement here because we want to make sure that the inside box is going to fit inside the diagonal lids. So on this one, we're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 5/16, which is just 1 tick mark past 1 1/4. Make sure you're using your scoring blade. So again, 1 5/16 on each side, which is 1 tick mark past 1 1/4. Let's start with the box base. I've got a template here for you. I'm going to first fold and burnish on all 4 sides. And then we're going to create our tabs kind of in this pinwheel pattern. I'm going to come in with my paper snips, and I'm always cutting up the vertical score line on the right. It doesn't matter which direction, you just want to kind of go in this pinwheel pattern. I'm going to cut up the vertical score line, stopping at that first horizontal score line. Then I'm going to come in and miter or notch these tabs. So each time I do that, I'm going to turn it a 1/4 turn and repeat, and we'll do that to all 4 corners. All right, so your pattern is going to look like this. We're just going to finish off the box base here. I'm going to put glue on each of the 4 tabs and work my way around. I'm going to line up this score line with this cut edge to form the box corner there. I do prefer liquid glue for this because that allows me to kind of slide things into place if I need to. And I'm just going to work my way around the remaining 3 tabs. Our box base is done. All right, now for both of the designer series paper pieces, I'm going to fold and burnish on all the score lines. I'm going to bring in a template here really quick. We're going to focus first on the center tab here. So if it's easier for you to see the score lines on the back side of the paper, we're just going to cut up those 2 vertical score lines, stopping at the horizontal. And then come in and miter or notch those tabs. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other piece. All right, now to get these diagonal lines, we are literally just going to fold corner to the corner, this intersection of score lines. We can just manually do this. You could certainly use a ruler in your bone folder if you wanted to. And I am literally taking the corner and just going right up to the score line, not all the way, just gives us a little bit of room. We're going to do that to both pieces. Now to give this a nice finished look, we're just going to glue down these diagonal tabs. And then I like to come in and burnish those so we can get those good and adhered. And I'll repeat the same thing to the other piece. All right, now it's time to put our pieces together. So they do kind of look like little paper airplanes, sort of. So we are going to just kind of eyeball which direction we want our diagonals to go. And like I said, because we scored opposite, now we can have our little heart pattern going in the same direction. So we just want to pay attention. We're going to have this one be our top diagonal and this one will be our bottom. So we're going to actually be gluing the tab to the outside of the box, and that's to make sure that when the interior box slides in, that tab doesn't get in the way. So it's going to go together like this. This is how it's going to be shaped. Tab glues down first, and then this will glue down on top. Okay, so knowing that, if this is the top of our piece, then we want to put glue on this piece and the tab. Okay, so we'll do that. You don't have to be fancy with your glue here, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the one that doesn't have glue into the score line. Use your score lines there to kind of guide where that tab is going to glue down. And just kind of slide that into place. And then this top piece is going to go down like so. Now again, the liquid glue works great here because you can kind of slide things into place. But then you'll see we've got that nice finish on the inside. That tab is not going to be in the way, and that's going to be our bottom piece here. Now you can come in and burnish that if you like. Make sure that's good and stuck down. And there we go, that's our bottom piece. So top piece again, if this is going to be our top, then we're going to put adhesive on this piece and this piece. All right, so again, we're adhering that tab on the outside. I think you can see that I'm just lining up that cut edge in there. And then we can then fold over this top tab here. Come in and burnish. And now we've got our pieces that are going to fit around the box base. Okay. Oh, I love how that goes together. So that's the template. This template will be on my blog. Now here's a quick peek at the From My Heart product suite. I love this suite, especially for Valentine's Day, but it can be used all throughout the year. We've got some great products here: the designer series paper, the heartfelt bundle, the ribbon, the faceted gems, the doilies, and the foil tins. Now we're using most of this on today's project. We're going to be using the heartfelt bundle, and that comes with the heartfelt stamp set. We're going to use the sentiment Happy Valentine's Day, and then the heart punch pack. It's a double punch pack. We've got both the smooth heart and the scalloped heart that go together. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment in real red onto Whisper White. You want to make sure with a photopolymer set like this that you've got a cushiony surface to stamp with. This is actually a neoprene desk pad, so it does have some cushion to it, but our Stampin' Pierce mat is great for this as well. Make sure your stamp is really well and inked up before you then stamp it down. Then you get some really good coverage with that stamp. So I'm going to come in with the smooth heart and punch that heart out. I love how there's a little bit of Whisper White peeking through. The scalloped heart, I'm going to punch a heart out from Flirty Flamingo. And then I'm going to grab a red doily from the Heart Doilies. This coordinates really well with these products. So let's go ahead and layer these together with liquid glue. And then I like to put the glue on the doily because of all the holes on the doily. Then we can layer this on top, and these layer really well together. Super cute. All right, so here's my tip in using the magnets. Let's first do a little trio of dimensionals. Now we want to put the dimensionals behind the top left corner of the heart. So I'll just put 3 fairly close together because I want to make sure that the dimensionals don't cross the diagonal. Then we can kind of hold the box together here and eyeball where we want to put that. Then we'll just press down the dimensionals on the top. Now with the magnets, I've got my magnets in my little embellishment container here. I'm going to grab 2 magnets, and one of them I'm going to pick up with a mini glue dot. Using my take your pick tool, I'm going to pick that off. Now this is the bottom of our lid. I'm going to flip this over, and let me put the I'll put the magnet down and then show it up close. Totally eyeballing this, but I've put it just, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch in, and it's centered. Okay. Then I'm going to take the other magnet and drop it on the top, and it's going to line up the right positive and negative. Then I'm going to take a mini glue dot and stick that to the top magnet, like so. Then we can put our box together here. And I'm going to make sure before I press that heart down, I've got my box closed the way I want it, and then I'll press down and pick up that magnet as best I can. There we go. And then just press down and reinforce that. Let's fill our box with treats. Then if you want, you can put the bottom lid down first, then the top, and there it goes. It holds itself together with those magnets. I love how that finishes off. If you didn't want to use magnets, you can certainly just tie a ribbon around the box. Now I've got one more embellishment to use here, and that is the From My Heart Faceted Gems. I'll pick one of these up. We're going to attach it with a mini glue dot here. And then I just like to put it on one of the hearts for just some added bling on the project. So there we have our diagonal lidded box for Valentine's Day. It can certainly be adapted for so many different occasions. I just love the looks of it. I love the size of it because it can fit so many different things. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. I have an option to subscribe to my blog updates, and I'd love to welcome you as a new subscriber. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you'd like a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and I'd love to welcome you to my team of Paper Pixies. You can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join. If you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.